Hello and welcome to Two Girls, One Pod. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Crystal.
Crystal, I'm laughing right now. I'm getting into my phone where my notes are, but I'm laughing because there's always anybody who watches this on YouTube, and you know what? Anybody who listens, because there's usually like that little pause. It's like a 2-second pause where we're trying to figure out how to get the music to run.
Right.
So anybody who watches it on YouTube just sees me like staring at the computer, like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And then all I can see, because I've got the music up, so I can only see your chin. I can't see anything else. So I press the music, but I also have to keep it up so that I can like get out of it for after it plays. And all I
Right.
can see is your chin moving back and forth and half of my face dancing. I'm like, what even is this? We're fun to watch, people. We're fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
So, this is a bonus episode. We are uploading this today, which is the 3rd of May and a Monday. And most of our uploads happen on Thursdays and Fridays. So Friday is our regular episode. Thursday, we do a Big Brother Charleston Shoe episode where we recap the show because we just really like Big Brother. It doesn't really have anything to do with our show. We just love it.
We just love it.
So we're fangirls. We decided to talk about it. Anyway, we realized when we were watching Eviction Night on Thursday that this week is finale.
It's the last week.
Which is crazy. So there's an episode tonight, a special eviction episode on Wednesday, and then a finale on Thursday. So what we are going to do is discuss Thursday's episode today. And then Wednesday night, we're going to record and recap Monday and Wednesdays. And then we're going to recap again after Thursday's episode and finale. But before then, we will be making lots and lots of predictions. Yeah. So, Crystal, did you see Thursday night's episode?
The eviction, yes, absolutely. I did. I saw it. Well, I didn't see it live. I saw it Friday morning because I can't get up I have to get up in the morning. So I'm just like, no.
I did the same thing. I have it stacked again, watched it on the treadmill, and I made all my notes for eviction night, and it's such a good episode. And I'm so happy. I was like, I think I wrote you at like 6 a.m. I was like, we need to recap Thursday before next week. Like, we need to get this done. Yeah. And here we are. So Monday afternoon, getting it done. So the opener recap is what I absolutely loved. So you know how they always recap the show when it first airs. Yeah. So the announcer comes on and recaps what happened in last week, and then they're like, what will happen tonight? Stay tuned, whatever. Right. My favorite thing ever was that as he's recapping, at the end of it, he goes, and will Beth ever stop shouting? It's like, he goes, earmuffs, everyone.
I'm telling you, man. I could not have been. The amount of annoyed that I was, annoyed is the word, actually, not annoying, which is what I said. But anyway, so the amount of annoyed that I was with Victoria the entire time that she was on basically is the same amount of annoyed I was with Beth for just this episode. So like, that's a lot.
It's a lot of annoyance. It's watching her scramble. Oh, like, man. It's watching her. It's like a little bug in a corner trying to get out. Like, she's stuck. She's on the block. She knows she's the target, and she's just like, how can I save myself? And I mean, I don't blame her. No. She has been a good player throughout the game, and she's still got some good moves. Like, she tried to sway votes this episode, and I was like unsure of what was going to happen at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, she did a good job of trying. Like, you got to give her kudos because it's like, okay, she attempted and she used different tactics for different people, which I mean, that she's obviously playing the game to that person or whatever. Yeah. But I think that she overestimated and she overplayed it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that if she had to bring some of those tactics to everybody before she started spinning out like a crazy person, she might have had a shot.
Yeah. I feel like with Beth, she felt like she was so in control of the house for so long that when she was backed into a corner and not in control anymore, she didn't really know how to take it. Like, she felt like she was everybody's puppet master. Yeah. But then when everybody turned on her, like, that's when you like pause and you assess. And I feel like instead of pausing and assessing to try and figure out, okay, like in a game of chess, like they were talking about, okay, what's the best move for me to strategically move forward
Mm-hmm.
and win. And instead of doing that, she reacted immediately and went with hurt feelings and emotions and like flipped the place upside down. And then she had to backtrack and do damage control.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's like I always say, like, if you're in an argument with something or someone, sorry, you cannot take the words back after they've been said.
Mm-hmm.
So especially in Big Brother, if you're rubbing people the wrong way, it's hard to fucking come back from that. Like if you tell people, if you flip out and tell people, like yell at people and get mad at people, like it's not always going to work when you come back later and say you're sorry because the words were already said, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I made a note because she was talking to Ty. So like before she even got into her fight, she was frustrated with him for not trying to sway Brayden to take her off the block.
Mm-hmm.
Like their alliance ended when she was trying to put Ty. Their alliance ended the week before that. I was going to say their alliance ended when she tried to put Ty on the block in place of Jed. But really, their alliance ended the week before when they tried to get Kiefer out.
Yeah, I mean, like as soon as they started trying to break up the four of them, that was kind of the end of it. Like, and she didn't realize it.
Exactly. She figured, okay, well, we're still a tight three, but Ty's like, you're going to cut him. You're in a showman's, you'll cut me. So then he floated over to Kiefer. And then, like, you know, Beth's going around looking Ty in the face saying, you should volunteer to go on the block with Brayden so we can backdoor our alliance member. Like, of course he's not going to trust you. And then you're going to turn around and be like, how come you didn't try to save me or talk to Brayden about not putting me on the block? Like, at this point in the game, you care about your game. You are not saving people. There are 5 people left in the house. Yeah. Like, now is not the time to toss her a fucking life vest.
No, and I think that that's the problem. I think that a lot of them were getting, like, I understand you've been playing the game with somebody for a really long time, then you do end up with like an emotional tie to them in some way, shape, or form. Like, I get that. But on the other side of things, it's like you've always been saying anyway, like, I came here to win $100,000 and all the rest of the shit that goes with it. I didn't come here to have a showman's, to make friendships. Like, friendships don't pay my bills.
Yeah, exactly. Here's what I would do. Here's what I would do. Producers, casting, listen up. I'm telling you now, you don't even need to interview me, just hire me. So anyway, what I would do, honestly, what I think the smart strategic thing to do would be, is to take an enemy to the end. Take a fucking enemy. Like everybody gets these like, oh, final 2 deals, let's be final 4, let's be together in this forever. If you're taking someone to the final 2 with you, who you've been aligned with the entire game, that's one less vote for you in the jury house.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas if that person goes to jury, you know that you have their vote because they were partnered with you and they wanted you to win. So really, you should be sitting on the block next to somebody who maybe wouldn't vote for you.
Exactly.
You know
well,
I mean?
It's like I said to you last week, like once Tara came back into the house from the battle back, Beth and Tara should have aligned then, because nobody would have seen it coming and neither one of them really like each other.
See, and I agree with the strategy. I just don't think it was workable with the people.
Yeah.
With those particular people. You know what I mean? Like, that's something I would definitely do. But I also wouldn't trust Beth either. Not as far as I could fucking throw her. As much like it's a good idea on paper, but then it's like,
Well, again, it comes down to trust always.
Yeah. Take her to the final 2, probably.
Yeah.
I'd probably still take her to the final 2, just because, like you say, she's someone who. But I can't even say that because she probably would vote for Tara. She's after saying she hopes Tara gets final 2 and she wants Tara to win.
I think at this point now she'll probably think that anyway, because she's going to be so pissed off with the whole situation that she's just going to.
I hope they don't have an emotional vote.
Ugh, I hate that. That's the worst.
Like, I really hope that they do a strategic vote. You know, like, you're emotional in the house. I know Vic will be strategic. I think Ro will be strategic. I think Tina, same thing. Yeah. It's gonna come down to, like, is Jed gonna be?
I think that he's actually probably not going to be emotional. The only way he becomes emotional is if Beth makes him that way. That's what I see.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
But then she, and because Beth's not emotional, flips out a Ty in the kitchen. Can we talk about that for a minute?
Right. And then complains about the fact that, like, when you pull emotions into it, then everybody gets crazy.
While she's yelling at him. Yeah. And I'm really proud of him. Like, she straight up like he sticks up for himself. He was fighting back with her and being like, no, Beth, I don't trust you because none of your stories add up. And then she's still like twisting his words and her words, and what a fucking blow up. And everybody else is just in the house, just sitting back listening to it.
Just listening to it all, right?
Right. They're like, and especially Tara. Tara's probably like, this is great. Yell louder. Throw in a few insults.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet.
But Beth is very, very manipulative. You can see that even in that fight, she was trying to get him to see her point of view, but obviously she was coming at it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But she was still saying certain things to try and get him to sway over to her side while she's getting mad at him. And I'm like, this is a very dangerous player. Like she could have
a lot of her stuff was guilt tripping. That's what it felt like. And it's just like the worst kind of gameplay. I fucking hate guilt trips. Like if I wanted to take a vacation, I'd fucking go somewhere else. Don't take me on your guilt trip. Like, not going at it. I'd go down south. Fuck you, Beth.
Take me somewhere I want to be. Don't care about that. I do like that she was saying, oh, it was supposed to be 4 of us. It was supposed to be 4 of us and all this. And then Ty just straight up like, we are finally seeing the brains of Ty.
Yes.
He turned around and he was like, listen, Beth, the game changes. He's like, yes, we were all together. We were 4, but you know what? The game changes and you have to adapt. You cannot play the same game on day 50, whatever, that you were playing on day 2.
No. And you can't because you can only get so far as a team. And then at some point it has to become dog eat dog. That's just how it is. That's how the game is, because you eventually get down to so little players like they are right now, like we're seeing, that like, you kind of have to play in conjunction with somebody. You have to play next to somebody, but not with somebody. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like you need to have alliances and allies to get you there, but at the same time, like it's still fend for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Yeah. Wow, fuck. The thing that rots me the most about Beth, she actually said to Ty, you floated your way through this game.
Yeah.
She said that to everybody who wasn't herself and Jed. The whole house can't be floaters. Right? She said it anytime that like anybody says anything, she said, you know, you floated here. Every single person in that house right now deserves to be in that house right now.
Well, and I think that the funny thing about it is that if you were to sit down and like rewatch this entire season, you would see that all 3 of them, especially, even Ty, but Beth and Jed as well, floated through a fair amount of the game themselves.
Absolutely. Like you cannot come out swinging on day 1. Like you can to an extent, but like you
put a target on your back right away.
Yeah. Exactly. You need to go up and down with like how you're playing the game. You do need to play a social game. You do need to play a physical game. And like, I don't see what makes them like the big fucking dogs on campus. It's because of their physical strength or their look, really. It
was a perception.
Like, exactly. So, I mean, you know, you're at some point of the game, everybody's a floater. Yeah. And at some point of the game, hopefully everybody's a player. But like not one person who's in that house right now can like be called a floater. Like every single one of them deserves to be there. And I would honestly, Beth included, be happy with any one of those 5 winning Big Brother Canada because they
did what they were supposed to be doing when they're there. You know what I mean? Like if you do what you're supposed to do, then you deserve it. Once you get to that point, for the most part, you have done what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
I mean, it's especially in this season. I think in this particular season, in this particular game, that's accurate. It doesn't always end up that way, but for right now, what we're talking about, absolutely. I think they've all won stuff. You know, they've all made a big move somewhere, whether it's small or big move or, you know, depending on what the scale is. But like for the most part, they've all made good moves, like solid game moves, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy with it. I love it. I fucking love this season. It's so good. And then later, Beth comes crying back to Ty to do her damage control that she wouldn't need to do if she didn't have to flip out. Like the conversation that she has with him later on is the conversation she should have first had in the kitchen instead of getting angry and emotional, right? And I know it's easier said than done. It's easy to sit there and look at it and say it when you're not in that situation. Yeah. Which is why we're doing this. We're not in that situation.
Because we're judging. Which is funny because like, you know, like you and I both said early, Beth, say when Vic tried to trigger her that time after an eviction vote or something.
Super calm.
And I thought, man, she's going to play this game really, really well. There's not really a whole lot of emotion going on there. She's really keeping it under wraps. She's keeping it cool. But I think that what we're seeing now is obviously well, it's closer to the end of the game. Yeah. There's less people. She's so much closer to winning.
There's
and
more
now
pressure
within her reach. So there's so much pressure, and the fact that they've been in there for so much longer now.
I was gonna say they've been in there for 2 months now at this point. Like they're like, okay, just I can see the finish line, but I want to finish it first. So everything is just getting tangly and crazy.
Yeah.
She told Ty that he's playing the best game. And I like that she straight up asked him if he will keep her, and then he looked her dead in the eye and said, or if he's going to vote her out. And he looked her dead in the eye and said, yes.
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm not keeping you.
On honesty.
I'm voting you out. And oh my God, I love it.
See, and this is where, like, when people say that they want to play an honest game and they don't want to be a liar and stuff like that, that's where I appreciate it. Because do I think that you need to be slightly manipulative and you need to start playing different sides of different people and maybe leaving out things and maybe not telling full truths in certain circumstances? Absolutely. Because that's how you play the game. But someone's going to look at me dead in the face and be like, listen, are you going to vote me out? I'm going to be like, yep, it's going to happen. Sorry. Well, I mean, my vote is going here.
It depends too, because it depends on if you made up your mind, for one.
Yep.
But also how you are trying to play it, because like, are you going to blindside it? Is it going to hurt somebody else's vote if you say that you can tell them that early? So there is a bit to it, but at the same time, I agree. I like that. I love that he was so straight up, right?
Yeah.
And then she tries to manipulate him and say, well, I'll take you to the final 2. Like, okay, if you keep me, I'm going to take you to the final 2. Like, please, for the love of God, keep me. She's just floating around, like fucking trying to grab on anything at this point. But I honestly didn't know what he was going to do, because he was kind of looking at her. He's like, everybody will take you to the final 2. And she's like, no, they won't. She's like, I cannot win against you. She starts stroking his ego.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, so the ego thing, I mean, it worked with Jed.
But Jed and Ty are not the same fella.
They're different. Yeah.
And that's the reason why she ended up with Ty more so or with Jed. And that's what I firmly believe. I honestly think, and Jason and I spoke about it too, she was playing him like, at first, Ty like a fiddle.
Yeah.
And then she was playing Jed like a fiddle, because she would flirt with Ty to get Jed to come towards her more, because then he wanted to get her attention. Right. But like, once Jed left the house, she didn't even fucking bother with him.
Well, she couldn't bother with him if he's gone.
No. She didn't bother with Ty.
Oh, okay.
So before it was like this game of like, oh, well, I'll flirt with Ty because then Jed will pay more attention to me. And then, you know what I mean? So he was always after her.
I think that by the time Jed left the house, it was more so that Ty was done with her shit at that point.
Well, yeah.
Like he was just like, he was just so fed up with her games and her trying to, stay in the house and all this sort of stuff. He was just like, oh my God, like you can see him growing increasingly.
Yeah, he's done with her.
He's just has no patience for her anymore, right?
Yeah.
I did love that Beth also then promised the moon and the stars to keep her.
Right.
And then Ty was listening outside the room to their conversation.
Right.
I love that. I love that.
That was great.
The raccoon game was fun. Watching with the Weber grills. Game,
it was
sponsored by. I love the amount of advertising in this show. Like, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, but they're sponsoring it, and like, if you win, you get one of those deadly grills. So
I'm all about advertising. Right?
Talk to us, Weber.
I'm all about
a new barbecue. I'm just saying.
Crystal doesn't get the subtlety of what I'm doing. So anybody who's watching us on YouTube,
I'm also showing off my things.
So listeners don't know what's going on right now. As we're talking about advertising, I'm drinking a Monster and trying to point to the Monster can, looking for sponsorship from Monster. And Crystal is drinking out of her eco-friendly Tupperware container.
I am.
So we are both looking for sponsors for this podcast.
So we subtly try to talk about Monster and Tupperware, but we're just going to outwardly be like, Weber Grills, hit us up, because I would love a new barbecue for my cabin.
Legit. We'll film we'll start filming our podcast in front of the grill.
We're gonna have like a May 2-4, right? We'll have a May 2-4 episode, and we can feature the Weber grill that's going to be bestowed upon me.
Throw it out to the universe, man.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, that was a really fun game. I liked watching the other house guests try to trip them up as well. Yeah. Popping up behind the fence and pretending to be raccoons.
I'm like, how did they stay awake for such a long time? And then when Kiefer had to go to the bathroom, and then the raccoons all started going so much faster, because it was so funny to watch her. She's like, 465, 466.
Like, hurry up. That was good. I would have been the one who would have to leave to go pee. Like,
yeah, me too. Easily.
Always. Yeah.
Easily.
So we got to see jury this week. We got to see Jed go to jury and explain how he got there. And oh my God, that was so much fun to watch.
The reaction was so funny. They were like, what? Like, why would you do that?
Oh my God. The first seeing him, they were like, how did that happen? And then they find out that he goes on Tara's HOH, and they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then on top of that, he's like, well, then I won POV. And they're like, what? So what twist was in the game that you won POV and you're here? And then Rose like, did you use it on Beth? Everybody's like, what the fuck happened last week? Like, and then he tells about the fucking double eviction. Oh my God, it was so good just watching everybody's reaction.
Yeah.
Also getting to see the jury get a little bit of an insight on like who's playing what kind of a game. So now that they know, like when the final two comes up, they're going to be like, oh, these two weren't floating at this point. This one was doing this and whatever, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. I miss Vic. I do. I made another note. It said, watching her watch the last episode, and everybody was crying, and Ro goes, man, this is tough to watch. And Vic says, yeah, it's tough to watch. Straight faced eating popcorn. She's like, this is really tough to watch. But like, she wasn't sarcastic. She was like, yeah, it is tough. And like, just eating her popcorn. Like, oh God, I think she would have done so much.
What did she say to Jed though? She made a stab at Jed about using his veto on Beth. And then she was like, oh, too soon?
Too soon? I love her. She's got such a good sense of humor.
Yeah, maybe I do like her.
Yeah. Oh, you do. You just got annoyed with her. You would probably have a hard time living with her.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but other than that, I really like her. Okay, how did you feel about when Tara, Keith, and Beth are all in the room, and Beth is like, yeah, well, I'm going home, Keith. And then Kiefer's like, you don't know that, and leaves the fucking room.
No, and Tara's just like, what? Like, what
Tara sat on the bed like, well, go fuck myself, I guess. Like, like what? And Beth is just like, ding, am I staying? Like, Kiefer, you little fucking shit. He did that just to stir up shit and then walk away.
He did. And it was hilarious.
Oh, but God, it was like, so good.
I was like, I'm sure Tara's just sitting there more or less just like, what is happening? Is this backdoor happening? Like, why are you doing this to me?
Honestly, like, what's going on? Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, so Beth is playing hard. Because at that point, then she went, who did she go to talk to? I didn't make a note of who it was, but after Kiefer said that, was it Keith? Or no, it was Ty. It was fucking one of them. Because she was like, okay, if I can just get like one vote and bring it to a tie and then sway Brayden. So I think it might have been Brayden or someone. Anyway, she played right up until the last second. Like,
she did.
The girl, even in her going home speech and her don't send me home speech, she was still like, keep me here. I'm better for your game. And she flat out said in her speech, if you guys keep me, Bray and Ty, we're going to the final three. So she full on was like, sorry, Keith, you're not going. And I think my thought behind that, because I know that they can't show everything. My thought behind that, I'm wondering if maybe, because she did originally promise Kiefer that she would take him to the final three. Then when she was talking to Kiefer, Ty overheard her. She was talking to Kai saying that he was going to the finals and all this. So I'm wondering if she just got caught making too many promises with everybody. So she finally took a stand and was like, okay, Kiefer, I wouldn't take you to the final three. You two are my final three. Keep me here. Get rid of Tara. And then let's fucking battle it out in final four. And I'm taking two of you guys.
Well, so they were kind of hoping that like she would just do the dirty work of getting rid of Kiefer, because she knew that the two of them aren't going to.
Exactly. And then she has, reasons to be kept.
Mm-hmm.
So right up until the vote, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. Like,
yeah, it was hard to say.
Right. So anyway, with a with a vote of 2-0, Beth goes home.
She's gone.
My favorite part about it though is Arissa's fake outs. So she goes, it's the second time she's done this season. She goes, with a vote of 2-0, Tara, you are safe. And I'm like, Jesus. Like, can you imagine sitting in that chair and then hearing your name, but then hearing that you're safe?
Didn't they always do that though in some capacity? What? Oh, geez, somebody.
The old, I don't know about Canada. Canada might do it a lot, but like I know the old US one, Julie Chen used to do it a couple of times, and she has not done it in
years. Yeah.
But like Arissa has done it one other time this episode. Like it doesn't happen all the time. It happens, I think, when everybody is sure of one thing. Mm-hmm. I think. I don't really know. Is that Mocha?
Yes.
She sounds like Chewbacca today.
I know. She's like being a pain in the arse.
Like, anyway. The sun is breaking through sometimes. Take me outside. But that was the episode.
It was.
That was the whole episode. She sounds like a Wookiee.
I know. Right?
Oh my God. All right. So coming in from that episode. So tonight, does anything happen tonight? We find out who wins HOH tonight, and I guess nominations take place
because they're in the midst of playing. I was like, P.S. They're finally playing in the games room, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, and maybe veto might happen tonight. I'm not sure what they're going to show because I know Wednesday is an eviction, so they might just do veto and eviction on Wednesday. I don't know what they're going to show tonight, but we know for sure it'll be HOH.
Yeah, it'll definitely be HOH, but they might combine tonight because what'll happen is usually don't they do like eviction and then they start playing the first part of the HOH on the night before?
I don't remember. I don't remember either this week.
No,
for like what, because Wednesday is like a bonus eviction.
Yes.
Right, and then it'll be down to final.
It'll be the last three.
Thursday.
Yeah.
So and Thursday will be free in the house, and then whoever gets voted out literally like leaves the house and joins the jury on stage.
Yes,
like, they don't go to a jury house or anything.
That's right.
So I'm going to predict that because we're at final four. Okay, so I think that tonight's episode, I think Ty is going to win.
I think so too.
And I think he's going to nominate Kiefer and Tara for sure. So I think Ty wins. And he nominates Keith and Tara. And who? Oh, I don't know who's going to win veto.
I think Kiefer would.
I know. I think I'm happy if any one of them win this fucking show. I'm going to say Tara wins veto. She's starting to pull comps out. So I'm going to say Kiefer and Tara go up. Tara wins veto. And then they have to put Bray up and Kiefer goes home. I think Kiefer is going home this week.
I think so too. I think if they're smart, he is.
I think if he stays around, he wins. Like Kiefer next to anybody on the block, Kiefer wins. But the rest of them could all fight each other, and they all have good reasons why they should win against Kiefer.
The other against side each other is that look how many he's been on the block once where they were certain he was going home. We all thought that he was going home, and somehow he managed to talk his way out of it and turn it all around. And then he literally convinced everybody to convince Jed.
True.
So I'm like, if anybody could talk himself out of it, it'd be him.
He's the one. He's got the best chance of talking himself out of it. He could fucking win HOH. I don't know.
He could.
I just predict. I think that Ty got it. Ty has a fire in his eyes right now. Like I've never seen him want something so bad. So he's clearly like gunning for it. I don't think Tara has this HOH. I think it's going to be between Kiefer and Ty. I think Ty's going to get it, and then I think Kiefer is going to be on the block. I think Brayden is probably safe to final three regardless.
I think so, probably.
Yeah, because
and I think honestly, most people would take him to final two.
I think so too. Yeah, which is funny because I definitely think he has just as much of a shot against anybody else at winning. Like I really think that Kiefer next to anybody, Kiefer wins.
Yeah,
and the rest of them have an equal chance fighting against each other.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think and I'll be sad to see anybody go at this point because I don't want anybody to leave now. I'm down for just watching it at this point. So very excited for tonight's episode. Let's see what happens.
Okay, well, if you're saying tie, I'm just going to mix it up and just going to be like, you know what? I'm going to say Kiefer wins the HOH. Okay. And if he wins the HOH, he puts up Tara and Braden.
Okay. You think?
Yep.
Or are you just saying it?
No, I think if Kiefer goes up, he'll put up Tara and Braden. I don't think that, but I think if he does it that way, it's because he's trying to backdoor tie.
Okay.
Right? If he wins the veto, then he can do whatever he likes with it.
And see, at this point, a backdoor doesn't really matter. Like a backdoor is normally so that the person who's on the block, because like anybody you put on the block can play and veto, but like the whole thing with the backdoor is that they put two people up on the block so that the person that they're but that's what I mean. In this point, it doesn't really, a backdoor doesn't really work as well.
Yeah, but if he say got a backdoor, okay, and put Ty up next to Braden, he could easily convince Tara to vote out whoever he wants.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but what I mean is he wouldn't need to do the backdoor.
No, he wouldn't have
put
to
him straight up, because anybody could win veto.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that he could do it that way if he felt like it. Let's just see what happens.
I'm excited. It's gonna be like, you're like, shut up, Melissa. God. Fucking logic. Okay. All right. I'm excited. So it comes on tonight, past our bedtime. So I'm sure we'll both be watching.
Which means I'll watch it tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I will get up early and I will watch Big Brother to start my day. It's actually a great way to start the day though. Like I get juiced up for the day. I'm like, oh my God, just watch Big Brother. And I'm like ready.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until Jason gets home from work and we'll watch it as we eat supper.
Mm-hmm. True.
That's how we roll.
All right. Well, I won't text you at 6 a.m. and spoil anything then.
Don't spoil anything.
I will.
You can just be like, oh my God, it was awesome. And then nothing.
No, I won't even tell you that because then I'll say something. I know I will. But
okay.
All right. Well, on that note, this has been our extra bonus episode of the Charleston Show for our Big Brother Unofficial After Show.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Tune in again Thursday. And we will recap Wednesday night's episode.
Absolutely.
All right. That's it for us. Goodbye.
Bye.